It's not you. That's one of the first things I have to tell adults when teaching them computers. It's not you. You're not slow. You're not stupid. You can get this. There's a lot of things that are going on with people who are not. There's a lot of things going on with people who have not grown up with computers. In the education world, they're called non-digital natives versus digital natives. Digital natives are our younger millennials, definitely Gen Zs, who have grown up touching something electronic, interacting with some type of computing device from almost day one. Those are my kids. I and a lot of probably are not that. So we learned computers differently. We have a different feel for it. We have different context in the world than than people who are digital natives. For instance, here's a funny one. On email, if you want to send an attachment, what do? There's a button that you click with a paperclip. You know what generation you're dealing with if they can explain why that's a paperclip. There's a different context. And it can be frustrating when you feel like you're not getting it as fast as somebody else who is, for this, it seems like this is more natural. It doesn't help when a lot of classroom environments, a lot of videos are pretty fast paced. They expect you to already have that base of knowledge and they're just going zoom, 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 click this, hit this, do this. It also gets frustrating when you want to slow it down and get help. My Lord, ask a kid for some help. Ask your child for some help. Ask a neighbor's kid. Sometimes coworkers. As long as I've been in IT, my kids get frustrated when I want to ask them questions about their video games. It's a generational thing. So we shouldn't feel bad about it, even though sometimes we are made to feel bad about it. This leads to things where you feel like you're falling behind. You feel like you don't have the basics. You feel like you have to rely too much on others. And sometimes you just think you'll never get it because everything that you see that's teaching it is just skipping over some information that seems to be really pertinent, like which button to click or why your mouse isn't responding to what you thought it should, or when you click here, why is nothing happening? They're skipping over steps that if somebody just explained it to you, you'd get it. You're not stupid. It's not you. There just needs to be a connect. There's a connect that's missing. And again, that especially tends to happen, in my experience, with non-digital natives. For instance, learning to drive a car. Anybody who's learned to drive a car was trash on the brakes the first few times. Everybody. You slammed on it too hard. You put too much weight on it. You threw everybody's neck out, or whoever was in the car, because you hit the brakes too hard. Because it's a motor skill. And you learn over time, you're doing it more and more to refine that skill. Until you're driving effortlessly. You're braking smoothly, with ease, not even thinking about it. It's just rote now. There's a lot of computing that's like that. For instance, using a mouse. A mouse is a motor skill, much like braking. The more you do it, the more refined your muscles are, the better your touch is, and the more accurate you are. I go into, just so you know, I go into bad analogies all the time. This is how I teach. Because when you don't have something to compare to, you need a baseline. And the baseline for a lot of us is the world, the real world. Those who've grown up with it don't need a baseline. Or the baseline is actually using the mouse or the tablet or swiping. These are things that are not natural for a whole section of people. swiping, using a mouse, tapping the keyboard, holding two keys at once. However helpless sometimes that we might be made to feel about our computer skills, we know we need them. We know that there are things that we need to get done with computing, whether it's for our job, getting a job, business, projects, just being productive. So much of it now is just computerized. And that's not a bad thing because there's so much more we can do. There's so much more you can get done faster because we have this technology. But you just need a space that can help you go at your pace. Not just your pace, because it's not that you're slow, it's just that we need a different frame of reference. Sometimes we need a different context for getting something done. But once you understand it, it clicks. It clicks and you've got it. And now you're moving on to the next thing. In my next video, I'm going to talk a little bit more about what do we do about this? How do we fix this? Or for you, what are the ways that you get around this so you're not just stuck and helpless, but you're proactive and empowered, and you're not feeling dependent on other people who are less than enthusiastic with their help. Stay strong, stay tuned. Happy computing.